Hello, welcome to Follow Everton. I'm Ryan, the channel host and admin. Wow, breaking news. Everton Women are apparently going to take over the Goodison Park Stadium. So all of us thinking that it's the end of Goodison Park, we stand corrected. Everton Women are going to be taking over the ground from next season. So it's not being knocked down. It's going to be used by Everton Women. I can't believe this. I really don't know where I stand on this, and I'm really intrigued to know what people think. People in the live comments and people watching back later. It's just shocking news. It really is shocking. I'm going to try and give a couple of different takes to this. Try and show both sides to it. I'll jump in on Mabsy.
Hi,
Mabsy, this is just I really don't know where I stand with it.
I just thought I'd come on, just like give my opinion. I'm not entirely convinced.
There's two different takes to this, Mabsy. Do you want to give us quickly your thoughts?
Yeah, so my thoughts are, at the end of the day, so they're in Watton Park at the moment. How they're going to fill up? They can't even sell out a 1,500 ground seats, 15 capacity, 1,500 capacity at the moment, right? So going from that to 40,000 bit left field. And what they're going to? I know they're going to put on the 21s, and but then what's going to happen? What do you think? I reckon this is. I'm a conspiracy theorist. Then Everton ladies, local ladies get involved, right?
This is the most
and then we sublet it and ground share, making money. Yeah, agreed. But then, the end of the day, what happened last time that we let the rats in? It's been infested ever since, and it's become a cesspit. Our old gaff, and now I don't know. I'm just I don't know. I maybe as the old romantic wanted an apartment overlooking the centre circle, and you know what I mean. Reminiscing about the good times.
You wanted to buy one of those properties that were going to become available.
Yeah, I think with the balcony and I don't know.
Glass.
Yeah, and then just being old romantic. I don't know. Then they go and look at the park and just reminisce. They decide with the centre circle they're going to keep. I don't know.
It would have been lovely for Goodison Park to have been made into a park, somewhere for you can sit, where the center circle is, preserved in some description, or marked. This is where the penalty spot was. This is where this is where the center circle is, and then you've got property and hotels and stuff. But realistically, the comments are amazing, by the way. But this comes down to a few things for me. First of all, there's a lot to digest. Could Everton sell the women's team Goodison Park? Could they sell Goodison Park to the women's team for, say, 200 million and then use that money as a capital injection into the club? Because the Everton Women are allowed to make losses. It doesn't affect PSR.
Well, with the end of the end of the day, Chelsea did it at the hotels, didn't they? Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like I know that do you think though this kind of derails the Southampton game a bit?
Well, you know what? I said to Jazz just now, my fiance, I said, it's not actually the last game at Goodison anymore. It's the last game of the men's team. And I wonder now, I just did a poll. I said, how much would you sell your ticket for Southampton for?
Seen it.
I gave a few options. One of them was £200. One of them was £1,000. One of them was £5,000. And one of them was 50,000, I think, pounds, or
100,000.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. I'd probably sell it for... I would probably have said a few grand, but now realistically, I'm thinking it's not even the last game, Andy. It's really taken the sort of the gloss off.
And it has.
Emma can't believe it. Emma says, "Why not announcing next week?" Yeah. Because Emma, I think then people go to the ground and they get all emotional and they're thinking, "Oh, it's the last game." Actually, it's not. But it has taken the gloss. It's bizarre it's a bizarre timing.
And what are they doing about the seats? So are they going to put new seats in, or are they just going to give us cheap knockoffs?
I'm just doing a tweet now. This timing feels bizarre. And does this mean there will be tons of empty seats from where fans have bought them. I mean, it is mad,
Obviously,
isn't
they're
it?
obviously going to replace them with new seats, but I could do a whole thing on this episode. I bought my seat, allegedly bought my seat. I could do a whole stream on
It's not
how
your seat,
agreed
is it,
that.
Andy?
Well, I don't think it will be personally. I think I bought it. I'm a sucker for all this crap, but do I think it's going to be my seat? No. Um, I just when you read all you read what the terms and conditions, you're just like, we're going to clean the seats. No, you're
No,
not.
don't
You
fucking
just
clean them.
well, no, exactly. Why would he spruce them up? I don't get it. And then all the numbers, mine lucky on the I sit in the park end, but my numbers got on the seat. But
Mine
I
isn't.
don't want to. Well, it is, but mine is. So what are they going to do? Are they going to clean that off, quote and unquote, and put a polished one? I don't want that. I want the unpolished raw thing.
I think they're
That
cleaning it to put it in the presentation case, but I see what you're saying. You want it to look like exactly as it was,
yeah, but if they
complete with
just then
chewing gum
take
and
if they take the paint
graffiti.
off and then put a 117 and it's just not as authentic. It'd be like brand new. Just don't want it. And yeah, I just read the terms and conditions last night. I mean, as I say, I'm a sucker. I bought it, but so I'm segueing. I'm sorry, taking over the stream. So I do apologise. Just
Yeah, I don't know about the seats in all honesty, but it does link into this because if they're using the women's team are going to need the seats. Look, they're not going to sell 40,000 seats, but how can you remove half the seats? It seems very, very bizarre. The only way I can see this is quite, it's a short term financial thing to try and make some PSR profit. Maybe we can sell the women's team, sell the ground to the women's team, and over the next few years and assess. But I thought, Andy, the part of the problem was the cost, the cost involved for the upkeep of the stadium. I thought that was some of the problem here, that they wanted to get rid of Goodison because it was costing them a fortune to run.
yeah, exactly. And I thought parts of the ground were going to lose, quote unquote, lose its safety certificate because it's so old.
I emailed the club this
You know what I'm
morning and said,
saying?
please, can I take my daughter along? She's 6 months for a picture pitch side because you're knocking the ground down. No, you're not knocking the
Yeah.
ground down. Come along to an Everton Women's game and do it for free.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, and then they're selling off the turf, and I'm not buying that. I'm not. That's just a bit too far for me. But now, what's the point of buying the turf? Because are the turnstiles going to change because they're melting some down to,
Oh my
you know,
God.
to make the watch? it, yeah, kind of like I know the commences stuff like from Goodison Park, like it's quite literally imprinted on my coin that I've got because I told you I'm a sucker for all this rubbish that I bought. This tat, and it says quite literally on the coin Goodison Park, and it's got the 2 dates. Well, what you see what I'm saying now?
Goodison Park men's team with an asterisk.
No, but it hasn't got it. But it says Goodison Park, and it's
Turnstile
got
being
till 2025. Well, that's factually incorrect now.
I know turnstiles being melted down for the watch. The 1892 to 2025 shirt needs changing to 2025 plus. What else did they release? The grass
Oh,
trimmings.
fucking grass, book. I've got so much junk that I bought. I'm an idiot, but I've got the watch. Got that as well.
You got the fucking watch.
Yeah, I got the watch. Honestly, saw me coming, but that's something. But all this stuff now,
Oh,
it's
it's
like,
nice.
is it kind of like gone because
Cancel
the
it.
Goodison's not good? I'm not cancelling them. I want it. I do want them, but you just think now, will they actually just worthless because I've
That's why
got
I
the
don't want
I've
program.
bought the program. Yeah, done that as well.
I don't want that. I don't need a £10 program that every Tom, Dick, and Harry's got.
Yeah, but
It's only.
I'm
It's
an
only
idiot, mate. I'm an
It's
idiot.
limited.
I think James Graham says sucker, and yeah, I'm not going to dispute you. I'm a sucker. I'm an idiot, especially now. I feel a bit aggrieved. I'm being brutally honest with you.
So there was a turnstile for the watch, the 1982 to 2025 shirt, the grass trimmings, the books, the coin, the presentation box, and the seat.
Yeah, I'm just going tick, 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 tick. Apart from the grass, apart from the presents and the shirt as well, because that was an utter rip-off. And just something imprinted on the shirt, on a fucking Fruit of the Loom t-shirt. Fuck that. I'm not an idiot. Oh, actually, I am an idiot, but not that bad. Much of an idiot.
Everton are now apparently set to release a special edition shirt, the Everton the 1892 to 2025 plus edition. And they're also going to release a new coin, a new watch from melted down women's team shorts.
Oh God. Yeah, I just think, is this all like the stuff that we bought, which is obviously good tat anyway, but even more tat now than what it was before because it's not factually right.
I just put the, the box thing with the wooden thing. I just put that in the drawer. I'm not really. I should just put it out on the shelves behind me.
I completely forgot about that. Yeah, bought that with a season ticket for the final season. Yeah, bought that as well.
Because they made us think it was the only thing you were getting because they bundled it with the season ticket.
Yeah, it was exclusive to season ticket holders, but now suddenly the frames, all the wooden, because they hadn't sold them all the wooden frames now can actually buy online. You can't buy the whole presentation. So the wooden frame bit with the Goodison Park, the 3D bit, you can buy that online separately now.
Andy, do you know anything about sales and marketing? If you can restrict a quantity of
Mate, I'm a sucker.
If I restrict the quantity, so in work, I'm not going to say too much, but if someone else was booking me and someone else inquired, they want it more. They know they got to supply and demand, isn't it? If you restrict the quantity of the iPhone when it's about to be launched, everyone wants it.
Yeah.
But if everyone knows they can get it, it's all psychological. Everton have been very clever with it.
I mean, at the end of the day, how many years have we said Everton needs to be more like a business? And yeah, absolutely, you've got it spot on because, Alan Marcus's example of a wet dream.
Bring your own chair.
Pretty much, yeah. I just don't know. I mean, it's good for the women, absolutely, and good for women's football. I get that. I do. Because at the end of the day, I hope what they do is give away free tickets to school children if they can within the stupid rules of the Women's Super League now or whatever it's called. And then try and cash in on a few refreshments. But yeah.
Let's try and break this down then. So they don't need 40,000 seats. Half of them are being sold to fans. They're going to need to put some new seats in. They're going to need to refurbish some elements of the stadium. They said it was costing too much money to run. So that's what throws me off. So let me do a little monologue. I'm thrown off by the fact that they said it cost too much money to run. I'm thrown off by the fact half the seats are being removed. I'm thrown off by the timing of the announcement. I also then financially, I'm confused. Is the idea that we sell the women's team the stadium and make money to inject into the men's team? But then Mark on Twitter saying Everton, the women's team are a subsidiary of Everton Football Club. They don't need to sell it. It's going to be retained to build an asset like most businesses do. But is it that much of an asset? I don't really know. But Chelsea sold the hotels themselves. The women's team and the under 21s and the 18s will have their own facilities to benefit the wider group. It's PSR exempt.
I can, what they're trying to do is they're trying to build the women's game, and you know what, I'm all for that, whatever people's opinions are at the end of the day, but I just think you look at the attendances now at, they used to give what free stickers all the free entry to the ground. I don't know why they can do that anymore, but they stopped that. So, is it viable? They're not, One Hall Park, again, it's a great little facility for them, quite modern. But as I say, it's 1,500 capacity and they never get anywhere near that at the moment. So is it going to look a bit stupid in a 40,000, currently in a 40,000 seater stadium when the cameras are on?
Just to play devil's advocate though for you, Andy.
Yeah.
Arsenal Football Club women's team, they have very, very high attendances and they play at the Emirates Stadium. Is that not a case of could Everton grow to that level? I mean, it just seems so strange, the whole thing.
I just think, you've got comparing Liverpool to London. you know, okay, because I mean, everyone wants to go to the Emirates, and it's a brilliant stadium. Um, you know, I'm not taking that away, but there's a lot of more money and a lot more people in London than
You
there are
can't say you're
Liverpool.
not
I
bothered
don't
for the
know.
women's team.
I don't know. To be a fair, Ryan, I'll be brutally honest with you. I have no interest in women's football. You know, I'm not. I just turn off from it. You know what I'm saying? And rightly or wrongly, I do. So
No, it's
you know,
not
I
being
can't.
misogynistic. It's just not something we were ever brought up really to
No,
to follow it. Really, we don't need to criticize women's football or say anything about that. But Arsenal have got a big following. They've got a big attendances. Maybe Everton see the future of the women's game growing, and with that, and being able to invest. I would get it in terms of sell the stadium to the women's team. They use it. It increases revenue for the women's team. It grows the
have you
women's
seen that
team.
comment from Emma?
I'll come back to it in a sec.
So Everton, because
Use it.
they're trying to get the first 3 games, aren't we? Something away from home.
That's rubbish. Use it for the women's team. Make money for the men's team. Grow the women's game. What do you think?
Sorry? What was the question? I was trying to read. I was reading the comments at the same time. My ADHD was just going off the roof there. Come, what were you saying?
Read Emma's comment. Read Emma's comment.
Emma's comment. Yeah, after rumours, after rumours that Bramley Dock weren't ready for the start of next season, don't be surprised if it started at Goodison. We'll be off at proper Everton. That I just, you know what? I thought a few weeks ago that I just thought that they couldn't do that. Surely, can you just imagine the fume? People
What
have bought the
about
seats. No, that wouldn't happen, surely, to God, because you've issued God knows how many. Well, mind you, you've only issued 2,000 season tickets. There's no seat. Apparently, there's going to be no seats in the stadium because they've sold them all. Yeah, it would be. It'd be very Everton, wouldn't it?
what about I put on Twitter? What about some fans who'll go to Bramley Moor and go, "This absolutely sucks. The atmosphere is like flat as a pancake and it's sterile. Let's go back to Goodison. We've still got it there, and let's send the women's team to Bramley Moor Dock where they can't
Yeah,
park and they can't get to."
I think there's a lot with Bramley Moore. I think Dan Mice has designed it very well. I think we're very close to the pitch. They will see it being flat, potentially, yeah, for a few seasons. But I think that was more so for the West Ham, wasn't it? But West Ham's ground's also shite. Also wasn't built for football. It's miles away from the pitch, and you've been lockless to fucking watch a game. You know what I'm saying? I can probably see it, and don't get me wrong, but I just don't think it's going to be as awesomely shite as the London Stadium is.
Everton have put an appeal out to all the fans who've bought their seats. They've decided to revert their decision to move to Bramley Moor and stay at Goodison Park, so they'll be needing that back. Take it back out the presentation box, glue it back together.
I wouldn't even be surprised if now, because I think Arsenal did it with Highbury. They cancelled them last minute, didn't they? And refunded everyone, saying, "Oh no, you're not selling them now." I wouldn't put it past Everton to do that either, to be honest.
I wish they would. I don't want it.
And you know what's going to happen is they're going to, and they do announce that that'll be after the last game of the season, so people can't just take the seats.
They want all you mugs to buy your old seat, piece of tatty plastic without your seat name on, so they can replace it with a nice fancy seat, so someone can go and watch the women's football with some prawn sandwiches and a bag of chips from the Blue Dragon.
John Mass is asking, has it been confirmed? Yeah, it has. Everton have broken news on the official website. Everyone's reporting it. So yeah,
I'll read the statement. I'll go to comments. I just want to plug tonight's stream, 7 p.m. The return of Robbie and Wes, eagerly anticipated. 7 p.m. tonight. Please tune in on Follow Everton live on YouTube.
I can't wait for that.
And on Twitter. Get them back. And please show some support tonight and make sure you are there. No excuses. We need to show them some support and some love and help them with their show. And I'm really looking forward to that myself. That's in 2 hours and 10 minutes time.
I'm sorry for hijacking the stream, right? I do apologise.
That's okay. I did put on the thing if anyone wants to jump on. Everton Football Club is proud to announce that Goodison Park will be the permanent home of Everton Women. Permanent, Andy. I mean, that suggests straight away that this is going to be long term. Yeah. Transforming English football's first purpose-built ground into the most iconic venue in the Barclays Women's Super League. We could argue that. Where do all the other teams play?
They play at for instance, they play at like Southport and stuff like that, because like the under-23s, because I knew something was in the brewing because I was discussing it with my mate in the car coming over from Borough today. He was saying that because obviously I think they announced a few days ago that they won't be playing at Hague Avenue anymore, and I thought, well, that sounds a bit sus. Like they are trying to, so they play in like, I don't know where the shite play, not us. But there'll probably be some also Holton Arena in Widnes or something like that.
What about the under-23s going to Goodison now from next season?
Yeah, you know what? It's going to get used, absolutely, but it's not going to reach the capacities that for the foreseeable future. I'm not saying
Does
never.
it need to?
Well, they obviously don't think it needs to, but I mean, they must have done the cost. They would have done the costings. You know, I mean, probably renting out so many football grounds to, you know, like the likes of Southport, but then that produces revenue for the likes of Southport. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I just think, yeah, I don't know how to. I'm meant to be reacting to this, but I just feel like really confused. Don't get me wrong. I hope it's a success, but I just baffled. So yeah, I'm on the. So we'll go through a few of the comments. Right. Some Ross goes, the under-23s should be managed by a head coach and not by our first team manager, because we need to develop better fundamentally. Yeah, totally. It's all about the thing. It's all about development and trying to get in blood. Peter Duggan says he's going to be at Goodison, I'm assuming. Yeah, where did he go then?
Someone rang me. Hello, I'm calling from Coin Splub or something. Shut up.
Probably Everton trying to flag you something else. Just give me my number. I'll probably fucking buy it.
I was going to say, the amount of seats at the Goodison Park doesn't really matter, because I think, Andy, long term, they've surely got to rip the stadium up and start again and build new stands apart from the
They've
park
got to
end.
reduce it, haven't they? They've got to reduce the capacity because it's just going to look so sus on the, you know. But that, again, it's going to cost money. So where's that coming from? Don't know how much money generates women's football, but I can't imagine it's going to be an awful lot to redevelop stadiums of that stature.
I'm just going to continue reading.
Go on, sorry.
I'll just continue reading the statement and then I'll do a few more comments. Yeah. A decision follows an in-depth review of Goodison Legacy Project by the Fadcon Group since their takeover. I mean, the Goodison Legacy Project was dead anyway. We knew that. The Goodison Legacy Project was launched in 2020 to define the future of Goodison. After an in-depth review, the Fadcon Group decided that football must be kept at the heart of Everton's community. Okay, as opposed to what the hotels and the other things they were doing.
But they were going to keep Everton in the community there, weren't they? And they were going to build a community, like I think a health centre and everything. It's going to be Everton kind of themed and stuff, wasn't it?
When the men's senior team moves to the new stadium, Everton Women will relocate to Goodison for the start of the 2025-26 stadium. The move addresses Everton Women's rapid growth and need for a larger, more suitable venue. So they've already been looking for a venue and they've been thinking about redeveloping Walton Hall Park.
But again, they're not. I don't think they're selling out of the 1,500 capacity they've got already at Walton Hall Park.
Goodison is a magical step with a deep heritage and close ties to the local community. That's from Megan Finnegan. She's the captain of Everton Women. The move to Goodison will include enhancements that will be made over time and enhancements made over time will ensure adequate facilities are in place. The relocation will also generate economic opportunities for local businesses.
How?
Well, the chippy will still be open and all that.
Yeah, but you think about it, it was a big, massive building site. The pubs will get used, and then people would be living there. Could more, yeah.
I'll be
Yeah,
honest, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I wouldn't go even if it was at Goodison to watch Everton Women.
no, I get it.
I
I
wouldn't.
wouldn't. To be fair, I don't. It's not going to. I'm not going to
But there will
think.
be fans. There will be thousands that will, Andy.
Yeah, potentially. Potentially, yeah. Yeah,
They're making
absolutely.
it feel more Everton-y. I mean, before it's just a women's team playing under the Everton name, but I don't think many of us had that connection to them. But it's massive for the women's team, isn't it? And women's football, as Lee says, women's football growing in popularity. So congratulations to them. James Graham, it says it needs a minimum of 7,000. Oh, they're not selling out women's pool part. These are new women's league rules. Needs to be a minimum 7,000.
Right. Okay.
Was
Maybe
there
then
one of the
that's
teams that said they were can someone clarify one of the teams was going to get promoted from the league below? I think it was Wolves, and they didn't want to play in a bigger stadium to meet Women's Super League rules.
really fair enough. I don't know a clue. I think
Actually,
that's a good point. I mean, they've saved the Wilmsley there, hopefully, because it's a great little booze there. Great little atmosphere on match days and so, and I hope it continues long term because it's a great little pub, and like all the other businesses on Goodison Road, they need footfall.
they do. I mean, who's going to spend £3.50 on a portion of small chips if we're not there? Woolnoll Park will continue to serve grassroots community and development programs for women's and girls football. Okay, so they'll use that as a base for growing the women's team.
Yeah, hopefully,
Goodison,
I'm all for that. But personally, doesn't interest me.
Goodison will remain a central part of Liverpool's sporting and cultural identity. It will stage selected academy matches and expand Everton, the community's L4 campus. So I don't really get how can it expand the L4 campus, but it would certainly, like certain under 23s games could be played there.
Well,
Like,
as I say, they're leaving Hague Avenue, aren't they? So I don't know if that's where I think that's what it was. They're leaving Hague Avenue in Southport.
why was some of
Potentially
the
they could
games?
play to stay.
Why was some of
Or
the
maybe
under
they're going to
23?
play on the 23s play at Walton Park.
Why was some of the under 23 games played at Finch Farm? Some of them at Goodison and some of them at Hague Avenue.
Bullshit baffles brains.
Why do we
I've
need
got a clue.
Why do we need all these stadiums? We're not even any good at football. Just shut them all down and let us get on with something else.
I think the women's team is doing far better than what we're doing at the moment. So
8th out of 8th, is it? I think there's only 12 teams. I'm not sure.
I don't know. But
I'm being really ignorant here, and I do apologize because I'm not a big women's football fan. I don't want this to be. There's always going to be someone in the comments after you grab a YouTube channel talking about women's football. No, I'm not talking about women's football. I'm talking about
the future of Goodison Park.
The future of Goodison Park, how it impacts us. Yes, very naively. We won at Anfield 2-0 the other week, though. I did know that. The women have won 5 in a row at Anfield. They've seriously got the upper hand on Liverpool. I'll just continue this.
That's good. Sorry.
We know how treasured good. This is from Angus Kinnear, responsible for the Jack Harrison clause that allowed him to join Everton for 2 seasons for free. I say that for free, but he's been on 100 grand a week. We know how treasured Goodison is to not only Evertonian. How do you know, Angus? You only just joined. But to the game itself, and being able to keep such an iconic stadium at the heart of the legacy project. You mean the legacy project is just we're not going to knock it down and we're going to keep it as it is? It's something that has been incredibly important to us. From next season, we're proud to say that our women will have an unrivaled permanent home. Another statement of intent as we look to build the foundations that will help challenge for trophies. The women's gain has grown significantly in recent years, and we believe that the growth will continue to accelerate. We're under no illusions. There are obstacles we need to overcome to make this a success story, both practically and economically. It's a big job, isn't it? But we're confident that we will overcome these challenges. Any thoughts on that up to this point?
Not really, no. I just love this comment by Lee. Sorry, I've got to just interrupt there. That's hilarious. Probably rightly. But
first team will win something at Goodison in 30 years, 40 years.
Yeah, imagine. Oh, God. I mean, I wish them every success, but just, as I say, if you want to stay in the league, then obviously they've got to move because Walton Park isn't sustainable then, obviously. And why not, instead of spending hundreds of thousands, stroke millions on a 7,000. You've got one there, but it just seems I just still can't get my head around this. I just
Everton
can't.
Women. The ground has been updated to Goodison Park. Brian Sorensen. Yeah, 12 teams. There's only 12 teams in the league. Maybe there are plans to grow the league to like 15, 20 teams and big it up.
Yeah, I think it's just absolutely, yeah. I just, you know what I'm
More
saying? I don't know how to
stadiums and
digest
trophies.
the news. I don't understand how to digest it at the moment.
I like your top. More
Cheers.
stadiums than news. I'll just continue the rest of the statement before I wrap this up, please.
Sorry, mate.
The value of investing in the women's game has been demonstrated by our ownership group at AS Roma, with impressive results on the pitch. We believe that Everton Women can emulate that success and go even further with one of the most revered grounds in the history of the game as their permanent home. What about all these videos that like Clive Tilsley's doing and all the ex-players about Goodison? It's not even going anymore. Have AS Roma got a women's team then that are doing really well?
No, I was speaking to someone a few years, I think months ago, when it was first rumoured, but Jessica was right in saying that. It was, you're right, but it's not in the room, and I don't know if you're aware, Jessica. It has been confirmed. But as someone was saying that Roma's it's massive. Women's football is massive in Italy, and you know what? If they can emulate it, and it brings money into both of the clubs, you know, both for the men's team and the women's team, I'm all for it. But at this present moment, I'm just, yeah, I just don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, just like shocked. I know it's been rumoured for months, but I think it's just, I think more than anything, it's just a weird time of the announcement. You know, it's overshadowing Goodison's last men's game now, not Goodison's last game. You see what I'm saying?
Where is that?
Yeah. So I just think I think the announcement is totally weird. Are you think?
Do we feel the timing? The timing overshadows
I
it.
think the time is well off. Personally, I think, yeah, I'm just baffled by it. I think it's quite literally now going to overshadow it because it won't be marketed now for the last. Everything's printed. Goodison's last game. Well, it's not. It's Goodison's last Everton senior men's game, but that doesn't have the same fucking ring to it, does it?
Until we move back, when we realise no one can get to Bramley Moor and it sucks because transport.
You know what though? So while we're on that subject, I'm struggling to get my parking permit. I've applied for it months ago when they announced it. Heard nothing from the council up today. And the lady on the council goes, have they started forcing that yet? I was like, well, no, but I want it when they do start forcing it.
Which will be probably August.
Well, it will be August, won't it? When the pre-seasons will start, be obviously the second, third test event. Because let's be honest, the council wouldn't have dropped it with a test event looming. And yeah, I just
so.
Can we sell for PSR reasons again? But why would you want to sell it if it again? I think it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm listening to days, mate. To be honest, I'm just like, yeah.
Let's just get some comments then. Thumbs up for a 4, thumbs down for an against. Not a bad idea, Crimson. Not a bad idea.
Yeah, you probably can. You probably could, absolutely, and that's a, you know, probably people will do that. I just think, especially the timing. The timing's way out on this one. No, you know what I mean. I do think the time's way out. I just do. Personally, I think, you know, why now? Why with Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so with less than 5 days to go before you know, they're overshadowing it.
So that people leave politely after they see Ryan Rooney
because it's not actually the last game, is it?
That's why they've not made such a big thing of it.
And they said they have Mount's hat.
No, I mean with the memorabilia, but I mean in terms of the actual final game.
I mean that coin's fucking pointless now, isn't it? That's just a piece of metal.
How much you pay for it?
25 quid. Steve got on too, didn't he?
I'll give you £2.50.
Yeah, Jan's got one. What?
I'll give you £2.50.
Yeah, go on then. May as well cut my losses.
Moving
It's
on.
worthless, isn't it? It was worthless anyway. I'm not going to be sure to think it was an investment anyway, but
It was not an
it's
investment.
now it
Anything
now
anyone can
is.
get hold of easily is not an investment.
No, of course it isn't. I'm not saying otherwise, but it's just yeah, it's just a piece of metal now because it's not Goodison's last game.
I don't really care what the women's captain says, to be honest. So I'm going to skip that bit. I know that sounds really horrible, but I know she's going to say it's great and amazing. I just want to move on from that. Let's just get to the other quotes from. Okay, we've got Dave Kelly, chair of the fan advisory board. Goodison Park hosts the most special place in the heart of all Evertonians, a glorious home for the women's team since 1892, and for be transformed to a home for the Everton women is something that I know many, if not many, Blue will support. The women's game is growing hugely, and it is only fitting that we have a ground that provides the opportunity. Julie Makin, FAB member and secretary of the Everton Women's Supporters Club, said, "We are absolutely delighted that Goodison Park legacy will live on and we'll be proud to continue to call Goodison home. This is a real statement of intent which shows just how committed they are to the backing the women's team and making Everton a force at the very top of the women's game in the country once again. Captain Megan Finnegan and the team make us very proud of everything at the start of the
Have you just sped yourself up, or have you just quite literally just said that normally and then magically done that?
No, I'm speaking as fast as I can because I know it's
Fair
just
enough.
a load of turgid waffle.
Yeah.
Give us some detail.
Hang on. I think Tommy's on. Oh, as you think you've highlighted in your tweets as well. On some of SR, I can feel it coming. Oh, you know what? Why not? If we can exploit it. I mean, Chelsea has got away with it. Why can't we?
Mabsy on that bombshell. Gonna love and leave
Yeah.
you. We got a lot of thumbs up. We got 1 thumbs up, 2 thumbs up, 3 thumbs up. No negatives yet anymore. We'll just give it a few seconds.
I'm like in between. I've not got a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I'm just trying to process this news that, yeah, you just think, yeah, just, yeah. I don't have any words. Just, I don't know what to think. I just think the timing's just all out of kilter.
What if it's a load of nonsense just to stop people ripping up the stadium and then
No, well, they wouldn't announce it. They wouldn't do that.
We've changed our mind a week after the final game.
We've changed from I'm not moving to Bramley more now. That was all hoax. Like, it's actually a traffic cone. We've just heavily disguised it.
Andy, could you just give a segue into tonight's stream, 7:00?
Yeah. So, really big thing coming up. Memories of Goodison Park and the men's team, because so I don't know if you know this, there's a massive game coming up against Southampton, now being the last men's senior game at Goodison Park, not going to be the last football game at Goodison Park. And we've got 2 big hitters. We've got fan favourites Wes and Robbie back as the duo they really are. And they've been absent for a year, and let's come back for it. They're coming back for a one-off special. I don't know. Hopefully more, but if it's a one-off special, enjoy it, guys. Because at 7:00 tonight, I'm definitely going to be watching. To be fair, so I'm definitely going to be watching. So I'm just going to do personal message to Wes and Robbie. Good to see. Hopefully, good to see us back, and I'll put that on the stream tonight as well, so they can both see it. And for maybe for one last dance with them, but they're more than welcome at any time.
They may start talking about women's football next season.
Yeah, maybe. You never know. Maybe that will be the thing. Maybe that's their niche now. Who knows? I mean, yeah.
Goodison men's memories. It'll have to be renamed.
Goodison men's senior team. No, because the under-23s are still going to be playing there. So actually, it's Goodison's senior team.
I'm tired now.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, have a good night. Everyone. Make sure tune in tonight. Honestly, I can't. It's going to be a good one.
And if anyone wants a Southampton ticket, I'm selling mine for £5. You'd take £5 wouldn't you, Mabsy?
No. I still stand by my comments I put on X or Twitter. What?
Clap a few things and watch Ryan Rooney on the guitar sing an Everton song he made up in his mom's bedroom.
He's a good singer.
I didn't say he wasn't.
No, he's a good lad, to be fair, Ryan. So let's not start a war. We don't need to start, Ryan. Yeah.
Okay, I'll cut that bit out then.
Okay, right.
You've made
Up
it
the
into a
fucking
personal attack. I
on
mean, it
that
was your banter.
bombshell. On that
Bye.
bombshell. Up the fucking toffees.
Bye.
Bye.